Ladies and gentlemen, just one quick note before we start. There will be a photo opportunity here for each inductee when they are introduced, and then afterwards we would ask that you would kindly take pictures with family and friends with our photographer. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming and introduce them to the 21st Annual Wilkes University Athletics Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. My name is Vince Scalzo. I serve as the Sports Information Director here at the university. On behalf of Wilkes University Athletics, I'd like to introduce Addie Malatesta, our Director of Athletics.
Before we get started, there's a group of very important people that we have with us today. But the members of the Hall of Fame Committee, please stand, and thank you for your good work. And now, on behalf of our committee and the members of the athletic staff, it's my pleasure to offer the congratulations from all of us to this year's inductees. Today you join an elite group of student athletes. They've all contributed to the storied tradition of Wilkes athletics. Jay, Mike, Lisa, Whitney, Bruce, Patty, and who could forget Coach Schroat and his 97-98 men's basketball team. Today is your day. It's a time to celebrate your achievements, share your stories, and renew old friendships. And I hope you've done that, and will continue to do that throughout the ceremony and afterward. Once again, welcome back, and congratulations to all of you. Thanks.
Thank you, Addie. On behalf of the Wilkes University Alumni Association, I'd like to introduce Tom Ralston, President of the association.
Good afternoon. It's my honor to congratulate this year's inductees on behalf of the alumni community. It gives me tremendous pleasure to recognize their incredible accomplishments both on and off the field. In addition, I would like to thank you, the members of our fantastic coaching staff, and all of our Hall of Fame selection committee as well. As many of you know, my dad, George Ralston, is often remembered as father of Wilkes athletics. The proud tradition of athletics excellence that began under his leadership is recognized today through the accomplishments of our Hall of Fame inductees. The legacy of Wilkes athletics will continue on our fields and courts through the student athletes that are following in your footsteps. I hope many of you will be able to join me at homecoming this September for a very special event that will celebrate athletics at Wilkes. We'll share more information with that on the occasion of the coming weeks, so keep an eye open for your invitations. Again, on behalf of the Board of Directors and the Alumni Association, I thank you all for what you have done for Wilkes and what you will continue to do for Wilkes in the future. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to introduce Wilkes University President, Dr. Patrick Leahy.
Thank you, Vince, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. It's particularly nice to be in the company of Tom Ralston. Tom, thank you for being here, making the drive down from Boston. As Tom suggested, we can't celebrate Wilkes athletics without thinking fondly of the founder of Wilkes athletics, George Ralston. So his presence is very much with us today. I'd like to recognize a few people as well, and then just say a word about your university, and then I'll sit down. First, I want to join Addie in recognizing the individuals from the selection committee. I mean, you think about this. Their task is to go back through some 80 years of activity here at Wilkes to identify individuals who have surfaced among all the great student athletes that we've had that are worthy of this recognition. So I'd like to thank them as well for their great efforts today. Also, I want to thank in a special way the coaches who are here today and those that aren't. I think the coaches play a particularly special role here at Wilkes University. I mean, we're a university that counts among its most cherished things, the mentoring that happens between our faculty and our staff and the students that we're privileged to serve. And nobody exemplifies that better than the coaches. I think students listen to coaches in a special way. I actually had the great fortune of getting a nice text message from the coach of my 9-year-old, and he's the basketball coach of my 9-year-old, and he wrote me this text and he said, I hope, your son is a joy to coach. I hope he listens to you as much as he listens to me. To which I said, fat chance. There's not a chance that he listens to me the way he listens to you. And I think that that actually persists throughout one's playing career. So a special thank you to all the coaches. Let me also thank Addie and her team. Too many days go by between opportunities for the president to thank the athletics administration and all the work they do day in and day out, unsung work to try to make the experience of our student athletes first rate. So congratulations, Addie, on a day like today. And let me also congratulate Mike, Jay, Whitney, Lisa, Bruce, Patricia, and the 97-98 basketball team. I can't wait to tell you this quick story about the 97-98 basketball team. Some of you know that I worked at the University of Scranton, you know, that university up 81. And the day that I was to come in and tell the folks who worked with me that I was moving on, there's one individual in particular I was particularly close to. I took him aside and I said, I'm actually leaving Scranton. He's like, oh my gosh, you're leaving Scranton? And I said, yeah, well, I had this unbelievable opportunity to become a president of a university. He said, oh my God, Pat, that is fantastic. I am so happy for you, proud of you. He said, where is it? I said, Wilkes University. He said, Wilkes University? I said, yeah, you know Wilkes, right down in Wilkesburg. He said, of all the places that you can become the president, it's Wilkes University. I said, yeah, what's the problem? Well, he played on the Scranton basketball team in the 97-98 season, where, if I'm not mistaken, 3 straight weeks, is this the season where 3 straight weeks they came down here to play? They lost at the end of the regular season, they lost in the MAC championship, and they lost in the second round of the NCAA. He said, I support you going anywhere but Wilkes University. So, I can't wait to tell him how proud I was to recognize that team here today. So I'm so thrilled. This is a great day for Wilkes. I just want to share one thing about your university. We're working extremely hard here at Wilkes to build what we're calling one of the great small universities anywhere. And there's an emphasis both on university and small. University means all of the programs and the activities that you'd find in a much bigger place. Academic programs across all the disciplines. An athletics program that serves a lot of different students. Right now we have 16 sports. Next year we're adding men's and women's swimming and women's golf. That opens up possibilities for us in the future to add men's lacrosse. And our hope is men's and women's track and field at some point. Okay, we want to offer more of these opportunities to our students because we know that engaged students perform at higher levels during their undergraduate academic career, not just athletic career. So our hope is to continue to add these opportunities. Next year, you may have heard, we're going to be the only school in northeastern Pennsylvania to offer a marching band, which is an incredible opportunity for music students here at Wilkes, but we think also will add a lot of value to our athletics activities. But we offer all of these activities in the small, caring, mentoring environment that's much more like a liberal arts college than it is a big research university. And it's that combination that is really unique. I'd like to think really special and it's something we're going to continue to burnish in the years ahead. So I'm delighted to be here today to recognize all of this performance in years past and solicit your input and your help as we continue to make Wilkes University one of the great small universities anywhere in the country. So congratulations to all the honorees, and thank you for being here to celebrate this great day.
Thank you, President Leahy. At this time, we'll begin to introduce our 21st class of Hall of Fame inductees. Our first inductee, a 1978 graduate, Bruce Davis. Regarded as one of the best men's lacrosse players ever to suit up at Wilkes, Bruce Davis was a four-time first-team All-MAC midfielder, leading the Colonels to the 1975 Middle Atlantic Conference Championship, the first and only title in the program's history. Named captain in the 1976 and 1977 squads, Davis scored a season-high 26 goals during that season. He finished his career as the school's all-time leader in goals, while winning 80% of his face-offs during his time at Wilkes. Davis was also selected to the New Jersey chapter of National Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2002. Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce Davis.
Thank you to all people. Thank you, Dr. Leahy. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Vince. I'd like to thank a few people who directly were responsible for my name sort of resurfacing out of ancient history. That 75 team they talk about next year, that will be 40 years ago. So that indeed to me is ancient history. But I just want to mention them, they're not here, but Guy DeZeva and Bill Winter, who's a member of this Hall of Fame, they got the ball rolling for me, and I just want to recognize them with their nominations. I'd like to thank also the Hall of Fame Committee. Athletic Director Addie Malatesta, outgoing football coach Frank Sheptok, men's basketball coach Jerry Rickrode, Garth Jones, Jim Ferris, Doris Saracen. My thanks to Mary and Bridget as well. Being recognized by Wilkes University is a true honor. I made friends at Wilkes in the 1970s who still are friends today. The athletic and academic opportunities afforded by Wilkes University, then Wilkes College, and Wilkes Lacrosse became a springboard from which I began a successful coaching and teaching career, something I remain doing to this day. My athletic achievements here were part of my acceptance into the National Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2002. I'm joining the ranks of great athletes here. As I look on the wall, I know many of those faces. Some were lacrosse players, but were inducted into this Hall of Fame for other sports. I mentioned Jeff Grandinetti, who's a Hall of Famer here for football, also played lacrosse. Fred Lohman, Hall of Fame for football, also lacrosse. Tony Kudo, Hall of Fame for football, also played lacrosse. Al Zellner, wrestler, also played lacrosse. Allow me to make mention that the great game of lacrosse and all the doors it has opened for me, all the lessons I've taken from it, it's really been amazing. I was so heartened to see that Wilkes had put together a women's lacrosse program here. That's truly a great sport for women. And it's so heartening to hear that we will be having men's lacrosse come back again as well. This Athletic Hall of Fame, it's really a great and worthwhile institution. It not only honors the past, but it feeds the dreams of present-day Wilkes athletes and inspires them that one day they too may become a member of this Hall of Fame. The guys I played with were sensational people. I remember fondly crazy things that we did back then. Mustache Day, where eye black was taken and everybody had a mustache that day. Shoveling off the snow from the field, and the snowman that we made would oddly look like Coach Hobrock. All the banter, the jokes, the nicknames, or should I say all the the sick banter, the sick jokes, and the sick nicknames that we had. Even the reserve players on those teams good-naturedly accepted their roles. They called themselves the Tools back then. I remember one practice in particular. There's two gentlemen here that were part of this. We were working on our man-up offense. I played the above the goal position because I had a pretty good right-handed shot. And the man-down defense we were working against was composed of some really tough guys, some really tough hombres. Freddie Loman, Bob Mazzatelli, Donnie Nash, who chewed tobacco while I was playing lacrosse. John Lack, big football playing guys. So I happen to get a pass that allows me time to really crank up my shot and gives me a few seconds to really start to wind up with it. And these big tough guys, all of a sudden, Loman just hits the ground as if a grenade was going off. Nash runs off the field, Lack just runs away, and Mazzatelli screams like a little kid and covers up his groin area. I could not shoot the ball. I just broke down laughing. I collapsed on the ground myself. I mean, that's the kind of team we had back then. One of those guys in the net was left there to handle that shot. If I shot, it was either Bill Harris or Donnie Mock, both goalies that I played with. Those were really the best times of my life. We truly were a band of brothers back then. This moment is much bigger than me. This moment is for Coach Patt and Coach Hobrock. May they rest in peace. Great men who knew how to work with young athletes. This moment is for Gary Geishan, Vince Krill, Craig Austin, Kurt Frank, Don Mock, Bill Harris, Craig Deacon, Bill Abrams, and all the guys that allowed me to play lacrosse with them and become a member of this great Hall of Fame. All the members of the 1975 championship team who are already enshrined here. This moment is great for the great game of lacrosse and all who play it and dream. I close by saying thanks again to the Hall of Fame committee. I know how much you give of your own valuable time to make this wonderful day, and it has been a wonderful day. I thank my family, my wife Dina, my kids Casey, Katrina, Nicholas, my sister Kathy, and my dear friends Betsy and Tori, who are all here today. Peace.
Our second inductee, a 1967 graduate, Patricia Davis Gaboric. A 4-year letter winner in field hockey and basketball, Patty Davis Gaboric earned numerous individual awards for her play on the field and court during her time at Wilkes. She was named the Wilkes Field Hockey Player of the Year in 1963 as a freshman, while garnering Wilkes Player of the Year honors in basketball in 1965 as a junior. As a sophomore in 1964, Davis Gaboric earned Wilkes Athlete of the Year and Beacon Athlete of the Year honors. Patty could not be here with us today. Doris Saraceno, who coached Patty during her time at Wilkes, will accept on her behalf. Doris?
You see me? I spoke to Patty on the phone. She's down in Texas and there was no way she was able to get here. So she gave me a few words to say to you. She wanted to thank everyone from Wilkes. She wanted to thank the Hall of Fame committee. She said she met so many good friends at Wilkes and she loved being at Wilkes. And I just have a special word to say to Patty. When Patty came to Wilkes, she was the type of athlete that every coach wants to coach. She came to the game to play. By all her awards, all 4 different awards she received in those years, we weren't given out that many awards, and we didn't have that many sports, but she came, she was a pioneer of women's athletics. So Patty, to you, to your family, your children, and your grandchildren. I hope they are as proud of you as I am of you today. And good luck, and I hope someday you get up to Wilkes. And if you can't find me, just call the alumni office. They know where I will be. Thanks, Patty.
Our third inductee, a 2003 graduate, Whitney Holloway. Holloway finished her career as one of the best women's basketball players ever to play in the Navy and Gold, playing the forward position. A two-time All-Freedom Conference selection, she finished her career at Wilkes averaging a double-double, 12.8 points per game and 10.4 rebounds per game. She finished 7th all-time on the school's scoring list with 1,219 points. She ranks in the top 10 in 7 different statistical categories, including the school record for career rebounds and free throws attempted. She was also selected as a D3Hoops.com All-American her senior season, as well as being named the 2002-2003 Johnston Division III Player of the Year, the top women's basketball player in all of Division III. Ladies and gentlemen, Whitney Holloway.
First, I would like to say congratulations to the other inductees in the class of 2014. It's an honor for me to have the opportunity to stand here before you today as an inductee into the Wilkes University Hall of Fame. I am truly humbled, honored, and blessed. I would like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee for its decision to induct me into the Hall of Fame. This is such an incredible honor and privilege and accomplishment. I will always cherish this with great pride. Being a part of Wilkes University has had a significant influence on my life and has helped shape me to the person that I am today. Wilkes' mission, vision, and values are the underlying reason that I transferred here to Wilkes University. I will always cherish the memories and friends that I made during my time here. There's no possible way that I could stand up here and thank everyone that played a role in me being here today, but I would like to recognize several people. First, my parents. I can't recall a game or a tournament that they weren't there, cheering me on or offering some sort of words of wisdom. They have taught me everything about the game of life, the right and the wrong, to be confident in who I am and what I stand for. They have taught me the importance of hard work and dedication. They have been with me every step of the way to encourage, console, and motivate me when I needed it most. Thank you. My sisters, they spent a lot of days at the gym watching me play basketball when I'm sure that was the last place that they wanted to go. However, I appreciate it. My coaches and teammates, I wouldn't be standing here today without them. There's no I in team. Without them, this award would not be possible. They push me every single day to get better and better. Professor Chazarek, she was one of my most dedicated fans. She encouraged me on and off the court and in the classroom. She was a tremendous supporter and mentor to me. Thank you. And last but not least, my husband. He supports me through the game of life every day, professionally and as a parent to our 2 kids, Ayla and Lori. He encourages me to be a better person and to always pursue my dreams. He has been with me throughout my high school and college years, supporting me and loving me. Thank you. Thank you again. I would have never thought that I would be in the Wilkes University Hall of Fame. I'm truly honored and humbled to be recognized alongside the many gifted athletes, coaches, and administrators here at Wilkes University. Thank you.
Our fourth inductee, a 2002 graduate, Lisa Hartman Ninotti. A 4-time All-Freedom Conference performer in the circle for Wilkes, she finished her career as one of the finest pitchers ever to throw in the Navy and Gold. She ranks in the top 5 in almost every pitching statistical category in the Wilkes record books, holding 3 school records. She set the school record for appearances, starts, and complete games, while ranking 2nd all-time in innings pitched and wins. She finished her career in the circle for Wilkes with a 1.48 earned run average, striking out 229 batters while recording 13 shutouts. Ladies and gentlemen, Lisa Hartman Ninotti.
First, I would like to thank Wilkes University and the Hall of Fame Committee for this nomination. I really appreciate it. I'm honored to have had the opportunity to play softball for such a wonderful organization and school, and to be recognized alongside so many other great athletes. I began playing softball when I was 8 years old. Not long after, I realized how much I loved to pitch and began attending camps during the winter months to prepare for softball season. My parents were always there to support me, and I'm so appreciative for that. They never missed a game, regardless of how far away it may have been. My dad was my coach from day one and went with me to camps to help us both learn how to pitch. Some of my greatest memories with my dad are the half-an-hour pitching lessons that we would have in the backyard, and the plate is still there, kind of buried under the grass, but good memories. When it came to decide what college I was going to attend, I knew after my first visit with Wilkes and Coach Dunsmuir, who's back there, one of the best, actually the best coach I've ever had, that Wilkes was the right place for me. The size of the university, coming from a small high school myself, I just knew it would be a perfect fit. The team and coaching staff showed me what a great school Wilkes would be for me, and also how close-knit the softball team was. And more importantly, how much fun we would have playing for Wilkes. This was a decision I would never regret. My freshman year, I met and became friends with the players on the team, many of which are my best friends to this day. They were my support system on and off the field. They were the friends that I spent game days with and also fun weekends with. We ended up at NCAA playoffs my freshman year, and I knew at that point what a talented team we had at Wilkes. After graduating in 2002, I returned to Wilkes in 2005 to obtain my MBA. I'm so proud to say that I've graduated twice from such a wonderful university. It is impressive to see how much the school has grown and changed over the last 10 years. I also want to thank my 4 grandparents who are here today for supporting me as well. They attended many of my games from Little League when I was 8 years old all the way up through college, and even going as far as coming to Myrtle Beach and Maryland to watch our spring break trips. I am so blessed to have them here today to celebrate. Words can't explain how much it meant to me to see you on the sidelines at games supporting me. Thank you so much for that. I plan to keep softball and pitching in my life going forward. I'm hoping that my daughter Natalia, who's also here, who's 4 years old, will someday have an interest to play and possibly even pitch. I asked her last summer, as I was pitching into a backstop that my dad recently built for my nephews, if she would want to be a pitcher like Mommy. Her response was that she wanted to climb the fence. So we're going to work on that one a little bit. So we'll see what's to come in the future. Again, I'm very humbled and honored to become part of the Hall of Fame at Wilkes, and just thank you again to Wilkes University, and more importantly to my coaches, friends, and families for supporting me throughout the years.
Our 5th inductee, a 1991 graduate, Mike Schroat. Mike Schroat finished his career on the mat at Wilkes with a 49, 4, and 7 dual record, standing 7th all-time on the school's dual record list. A 3-year starter for legendary coach John Reese, Schroat finished 6th in 1988 at the Eastern Intercollegiate Wrestling Association, before claiming 3rd in 1989 and 2nd in his senior year in 1990. The 1989 Wilkes Open champion at 150 pounds, Schroat was named to the Wilkes Super 16 team for his performance on the mat in the navy and gold. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Schroat.
Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to thank God for allowing us all to make it here safely. I am truly honored to be selected into the Hall of Fame, and I thank everyone who was involved in that process. It's really humbling and truly a great honor. I'd like to thank a few people here for coming out to support me, and these are happen to be the same people who supported me during my career here at Wilkes. First, Coach John G. Reese, who's a legendary wrestling coach here, as most of us know. He really established a stellar wrestling program here at Wilkes, and he's had over 500 victories to his credit, and he's one of the most winningest coaches in college as a result of that. So Coach Reese was responsible for recruiting me, and really I could truly say that he was responsible for me getting into college. I was kind of a teenager who really was not sure which way I was going to go, and I just happened to be a good wrestler, and fortunately my high school coach, Coach Reese, and the link was made, and Coach Reese would call me over the summer before the freshman year and say, did you get your application in? Are you still coming? And it was that encouragement that really kind of motivated me to do what I needed to do to get into complete the process and get here. And I know there's many other stories like that. I know that I'm not the only one. So there's a lot of people out there that have Coach Reese to thank for their careers. So thank you again, Coach Reese. Some other of my buddies here were teammates. Merle O'Neill, Dennis Mejias, and Ronnie Miller. I thank you guys. When I was coming in, Dennis Mejias and Ronnie Miller, they were upperclassmen, and they kind of took us under their wings and helped us, just show us the ropes. I can still remember Ronnie Miller kind of walking around on campus. At that time he had a mohawk, and he used to walk around with a big Moses cane on campus. Back of the mohawk, he had a roach clip, I think it was, and then the string of feathers that were strung from that clip, it was clipped to the back of the mohawk, and that was his style. But everybody respected him because he was such a great guy, and he was very personable, sociable, and he would talk to everybody and really helped out. Fresh undergraduates were coming in. And of course, Dennis Mejias, he was another upperclassman that showed a lot of support to everyone, all the wrestlers who would come in. And Dennis, he showed us how to manage things appropriately. And in his dorm room, he introduced all the freshmen to the ways of life and the ways of the college campus. And, he was very successful at that. He was a great guy. But and then Merle O'Neill, I have a special thanks to Merle because we were around the same weight class, and I would have to wrestle Merle all the time, just about every practice. And I don't think I ever told you this, Merle, but I hated to wrestle you. I hated to wrestle you, really. He just had this. He was very strong and had this iron grip, and he would just grab your wrist, and it would be so difficult to get out of there. And he really pushed me every practice, every time we wrestled. He gave it 110%, and that's really what made us all good, is because we would all give it everything we got every practice. So that constant battling and struggle, that constant intensity is what made us all be as successful as we were. So I owe a lot to my teammates for that. And Tony Diaz, he's also here to support me. He was a little bit lighter, but he was a tough guy. I mean, he would come out like the Tasmanian devil. I mean, he would come at you, you know, with all intensity, and he was very strong. The problem was that it would only last about 30 seconds, and then he would run out of gas. Yeah. So, and also here with me tonight are my two children, my sons, Elijah and Solomon. Thank you guys for coming out. But yeah, it's been 25 years since I was here at Wilkes, and it's hard to believe, you know, it's been that long. You know, and consequently, you know, how old that makes me. But, you know, but my two sons, they remind me of that all the time. So, fortunately, you know, I'm able to, you know, be here and you know, just enjoy this moment. So thank you all for coming and supporting. I just wanted to also thank, you know, all the people involved in athletics, because it truly is important, because students really need, you know, some words of encouragement and, you know, just the ongoing support that's provided by parents and you know, the family members and coaches, colleagues, and the student body. I can remember just walking through campus, and you know, someone would say, you know, oh, I saw your match last night. You did a great job, good job, and you know, thank them, of course. And you know, people I wouldn't even know, but you know, there was a constant, ongoing support, you know, here at Wilkes, and it really kept me motivated and kept me focused. You know, and sometimes, on very rare occasions, I would hear something like, "Oh, you had a great match last night. You know, you really were killing that kid, but I can't believe you came back and won that match." You know, that was a very rare occasion. But really, I would just like to thank everyone who's involved in this process, and just encourage everyone to continue to support student athletes, because it's really more profound than what we even realized at the time. I didn't realize how much that was, the encouragement that I was getting was really helping me and keeping me motivated. That's what was really inspiring me to train as hard as I did in order to become, you know, the athlete that I did. It was the support of the community, and I really appreciate that. That's it. Thank you.
Our sixth inductee, a 2000 pharmacy graduate, Jay Williams. Regarded as the best point guard to ever play at Wilkes, Jay Williams was the epitome of a winner during his time as a Colonel. During his 4-year career, Williams led the Colonels to a 99-18 overall record, winning over 84% of the games he played in. Williams was part of 2 Mid-Atlantic Conference championship teams, earning berths to the NCAA tournament all 4 years he played at Wilkes. He is the only player in school history to have played in 2 Elite Eights and a Final Four during his time in the Navy and Gold. At this time, we'd like to play a short video clip here, so everyone could move their seats over so you can see the projection screen. Before we bring Jay up, we'd like to play this video clip.
Hey, Williams can do better. We'll tell you who he is and what he did in just a minute. Plus, a round in 3 hoops on Saturday. Wilkes University trails by 8 points with 45 seconds left in the playoff game with Cabrini College. With guard Jay Williams and Wilkes caution flammable. He hit three-pointers. And in the closing seconds, Williams makes a 4th three in 45 seconds to send it into overtime. You're going to hate this thing. He's clammy right now. He continued the hot hand routine. Jay Williams, the strip, motors, little opposite leg, but that's okay. He scored 14 straight, finished 26. Wilkes wins in overtime and improved to 27-1.
Just so before anyone's wondering, that clip's from SportsCenter on ESPN National TV. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Williams.
Yeah, that's for sure. Thank you very much. Coach Schroat, Coach Sheptalk, and all the Hall of Fame committee members, thank you for this incredible honor. I'm extremely grateful to be here today. When Coach Schroat called me a few weeks ago and told me I had been selected, it gave me the opportunity to think back about all the people who had helped and supported me during my career. Coach Schroat recruited me out of high school and kept talking about his plan to build the men's basketball program into one of the country's best. He worked really hard to convince me that Wilkes would be the place for me. And during the recruiting process, he showed up at everything. Basketball games, practices, AAU games, baseball games, my summer job, and even somehow made his way onto a parent fan bus, which I think he got in trouble for. One of the things that I remember is being at 10:30 Mass on a Sunday, looking over, and there's Coach Schroat waving at me. I remember thinking, what is he doing here? And literally Sunday after Sunday, week after week, he kept showing up. I couldn't figure out why. And I remember finally calling Coach and telling him to come to Wilkes. And I think that may have been the last time I saw him at 10:30. Turns out he wasn't even counting. But I am so grateful that he convinced me to come to Wilkes, because what I found was a school community that welcomed me with open arms. There's so many people I need to thank today, and it begins with President Bryseth and Bernie Beniborski. I'd like to thank both of them for their support. Dean Graham and everyone at the School of Pharmacy, thank you for accepting me into the school and giving me the chance. I'm very proud to say that I'm a member of the first graduating pharmacy class at Wilkes. Coach Malatesta, Coach Wingert, and everyone in the athletic offices, thank you very much. Tommy McGuire and John Seitzinger, our sports information directors. Thank you for always keeping Wilkes on the front page headlines and always help to bury Kings and Scranton on the back pages. I began my career playing in a tournament up at UMass Boston and finished at the Final Four in Salem, Virginia. And I played at many different gyms and arenas during my career. However, there was no better place to play than at a sold-out Mart Center. The electric atmosphere that our fans helped create is truly second to none. You couple this March Madness with Tommy Dunsmuir working the clock, and there's a really good chance that Wilkes is going to win the game. I'm not saying it's cheating or being dishonest in any way.
I just didn't get caught.
Take an inbounds pass and dribble the length of the court in about a second. I'm just going to call it the greatest home court advantage we could have in Division III basketball. Thank you, Tommy, for everything. I'd like to thank my teammates for accepting me as their point guard. Coach brought together guys from all different areas, different backgrounds, different personalities. Some of these guys even had multiple personalities. But they're the perfect cast of characters. We competed against each other every day. Shoving matches and even the occasional fist fight were pretty common during our practice. We always found a way to pull together and to win games. I loved every minute with these guys, and I thank them for all the memories. I also had the chance to share some unbelievable experiences with my teammates, none more memorable than that Cabrini game. It was the NCAA tournament, and things were not going well. Our center, Jason Turner, had fouled out. You could tell Coach Schroat was really searching for answers. He looked at me to make a play. I ended up making the 4 3-pointers in 45 seconds, 6 more points in overtime. We won the game, advanced in the NCAA tournament, and the highlights were on ESPN Sports Center. And I think that was the last time Coach Schroat ever called a play for me. Can you imagine that? 117 games, and that was the only time coming out of a timeout that Coach Schroat actually drew up a play for me. I do have to thank Coach and all of our assistant coaches as well. Coach, as a 5'8" point guard, thank you for giving me the opportunity to prove that I could play. He handed me the ball as a freshman, and we won championship after championship, 99 games total. It was a great sense of pride that I could walk into the Mart Center and see the banners downstairs and know that we were able to build a program into one of the country's best. So thank you very much, Coach. The last and most important people I need to thank are my family members. My wife, Carrie, my kids, Abby and Matthew, my sister, Amy, my brother, Mark, my mom and dad, and all my extended family members, including my brother-in-law, Kevin, who's here today. My family has always been there, offering me their support, their advice, and even criticism, whenever necessary. My mom and dad taught me how to play the game the right way. They also taught me the leadership skills necessary to succeed on and off the court. My induction today is a result of countless hours of practice at the Myers Gym and on the street in front of my house. So thank you very much for all you've done for me. Again, thank you to the committee for selecting me, and I'm very proud to be a member of this elite group of athletes. Thank you.
final inductee is the 1997-98 Wilkes men's basketball team. The 1997-98 Wilkes men's basketball team is one of the many great squads of the late 90s, but the only team to make a run to the Final Four. The Colonels finished the season with a 26-5 record, the school's second Freedom Conference title, and berth in the NCAA tournament. Led by Dave Januzzi's 18 points per game, Mike Baruch's 16 points per game, and Brian Grabowski's 13 points per game, Wilkes used a late season push, winning 6 straight games, including the Freedom Conference final against Scranton, to reach the Final Four. After opening with a bye in the NCAA tournament, the Colonels defeated Scranton again in the second round, followed by wins over Rowan in the Sweet 16 in double overtime, and Hunter in the Elite 8, all in front of the home March Center crowd. Last year, the team was recognized by the Citizens' Voice as one of the top 25 greatest teams in the Wyoming Valley, coming in at number 13 on the list. Team members include Mike Baruch, Matthew Conway, Jay Williams, Scott Cleveland, Brian Grabowski, Chad Fabian, Damon Heller, Bill Gallagher, Dave Januzzi, Kyle Reed, Jason Chikowski, Matt Donahue, Artie Gottsmer, Casey Jones, and Lucas Markland. Head coach Jerry Rickroad will accept on behalf of the team.
Artie Gottsmer.
I want to congratulate all the inductees and their families and friends. What an honor. I sit on the committee. We discuss and review so many people. We debate, talk. It's a process. There's so many outstanding past Wilkes athletes. You're definitely the best of the best. Special congratulations, obviously, to Jay. I was blessed to coach him for 4 years. Unbelievable floor leader, general. The other part of that clip you didn't see, and this will tell you how old I'm getting. There was a part on that clip that said, anything that Reggie Miller can do, Jay Williams can do better. Well, I showed that clip to my team a couple weeks ago. They're looking around like, who's Reggie Miller? I also was fortunate enough to be here to see 2 of the other inductees play. Lisa and Whitney, you guys were terrific. I can't help thinking I'd love to have you on the boards right now. Really happy to have my family here. I just want to recognize them. My mom and dad, my wife Kathy, daughter Jordan, son Christian. My mom and dad and my wife were able to live that run by the 98 team. My daughter's only a year old. My son wasn't born yet, so it's kind of special for them, for me, to see them get a little education on tonight, to be able to meet some of the guys that I was really fortunate to coach. I want to thank my fellow committee members, feeling that our team is worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. And I want to thank my former players and their friends, spouses, families for coming back and celebrating this. Now about the team. Truly unique, without a question. I'm not one to spend a lot of time or any time talking about individuals on that team, okay? Or numbers or records or anything like that. What I will say is, it was a true team. 29 years in coaching at different places and seeing other teams play and scouting other teams and coaching my own teams. I've never had a team with that basketball IQ. We used to sit on the bench and, if things didn't start going well in the game, maybe we'd call a timeout, but most of the time I'd look at my assistants and I'd say, I'm not worried. They'll figure it out. And most of the time they did. They're talented. 4 of the guys on that team are now individuals in our Hall of Fame. But it went way beyond that. They're selfless, 1 through 15. Everybody knew their role, and they were really, really happy to play. I look back, and I reflect about the group and how well they transferred what we did at practice to the court during the games, better than any team I've ever had. Any of the coaching flaws I had, which were many, and the mistakes I made, these guys covered them up. Our success as a group gets credited to them completely. You know, I watch that Sports Center thing, and I think, you know, in our lives, we don't get, a lot of people don't get the opportunity to live a euphoric situation in competition like that night when Jay made all those threes. But some of the guys in this room, some of the people in this room, got to live it twice. Because 2 years later, when this group of guys got to host the Sweet 16 and the Final 8, right in this very gym, I don't know if I've ever seen anything like it in small college basketball. Fans were out of this world. It's got to go down as the best weekend of college basketball in the history of this valley, without a doubt. So this last time, I just want to congratulate you guys. You earned it. I also want to add this. I'm blessed to have been able, since that time, which is 16 years ago now almost, to be able to have a relationship with a lot of the guys in that team and continue that relationship. I talk, we text. Yeah, Coach Rickrow texts now, okay? Took me a long time, but I do. And, you know, there isn't many games that we have that I don't get a text from one of the guys, good luck. We golf together, do a lot of things special together. That is really important to me. Your accomplishments playing basketball for our university go unprecedented. But I'm even prouder of what this group of guys has done since in life. Okay? It's been special. So again, I just want to thank everybody, committee, my boss, Aggie Malatesta, Phil Winger, and most importantly, I just want to thank you guys, because you're the ones who earned it. Okay? Thank you.
On behalf of Wilkes University Athletics, we'd like to congratulate all of our inductees again. And as I mentioned before, earlier in the program, our photographer will be available now for photos with family and friends. Please, everyone, have a safe trip home. Thank you.